For project number 3, I wanted to create a lesson plan. That's kind of cusp of what we do as teachers is can we create an effective lesson plan? Of course, I'm basing it off of direct instruction. I wasn't real sure how to incorporate in the video with the lesson plan, so I decided to do a video separate from my lesson plan, but I am attaching my lesson plan as well. The reason I chose to do this is I wanted to talk a little bit about direct instruction. I teach family and consumer science, and direct instruction is extremely beneficial for the subject matter that I teach. Now, there are things that I teach in child development and things like that we could delve into deep discussions, especially when it comes to discipline and things of that nature, more politically based things such as abortion and child development. However, most of my classes are skill-based classes, such as food, nutrition, and safety, food production, core family and consumer science, which involves everything from balancing a checkbook to sewing. So we do a lot of skill-based that is set in stone. There's really not a whole lot of outside the box thinking, except maybe when they're creating their own projects. The skill base is still the same. Excuse me. So I did a lesson on knife cuts. My class in food production is actually doing that this week. They're going to delve into knife cuts, and their final project will culminate in a vegetable platter that will be served at our hospitality room on Friday. So that's what I did my lesson plan on for direct instruction. The components of direct instruction, basically, they start out with listing your objectives. You have to give your students their objectives. What are they doing? They need to know what it is that you expect of them. And in this case, knife safety is huge. I can't stress enough to them how important it is for them to be safe in the kitchen. And then I have to scaffold this back to things that they've already learned in the kitchen, or about the kitchen. Coming back to safety, we've been doing Serve Safe, so safety and cleanliness is a must when it comes to using knife techniques. I'll show them how to properly sharpen and clean a knife, which will go back to the skills they've learned about sanitation. So I have to scaffold those things that they already know into the new material. Then I will model what it is that I want them to know. They need to know exactly what it is they're going to be doing. They need to see it. I could tell them all day, and I will. I will lecture a short bit on this and show a couple of videos. But the modeling, I think, is the most important thing when it comes to these skill-based techniques. They need to see hands-on what it is I expect from them. With the knife techniques, I'll be demonstrating chiffonade and those different techniques that they need to know to be able to work in a commercial-type kitchen. Then I will break them down into small group, and this is how I'll conduct learning probes. In small group, I have the ability to go around, and rather than each individual student, I can see what they're doing in small group as a whole. They're going to have Play-Doh, they're going to have plastic knives. This will allow me to see the cuts that they're making before I let them loose with the real deal, to see and observe in an informal observation to see how they're doing. To see if I need to go back and reteach before I let them loose with real knives and real vegetables, and the possibility for injury if they're not performing the way they should be. So I'll be able to go through in small groups and look and see what they're doing. Also, they can critique each other, and that is very beneficial in cutting out the horseplay. They can tell each other when they're not performing correctly. Then I'll provide independent practice, which will be their use of real vegetables, real knives, and I'll observe them doing that. And then their final assessment will be real vegetables, real knives, and they'll be creating a platter for our hospitality room, and they will receive a grade off that. Much of my work is project-based, so it is all a lot of observation. I hope this is what you were wanting whenever it comes to the lesson plan and incorporating the technology so that you can see and hear what I'm talking about. Thank you for listening.